buckets, you guys. It is absolutely raining buckets, let me tell you what. So I just thought maybe I would use this opportunity to, excuse me, I'll use this opportunity to, I don't know how well you're going to be able to hear me over the raining buckets, but, I would use the opportunity, just as I'm sort of driving here to just talk a little bit. Not really much else I can do, just talk to you guys a little bit. We've been discussing, we've been playing a lot of games lately. And a lot of you guys, you might be wondering to yourself, what was like one of those things that made you want to be a content creator or something, like made you want to just make that stuff, I didn't say necessarily be a content creator, but make a lot of content, just in general. And I actually have gotten this question plenty of times before. Part of what led me to that decision to wanting to make a lot of content is, I have a lot of ideas, but also just because I've always been somebody that, right from when I was really young, I always just wanted to do, this or that, and I always was doing this and that. I was always, playing an instrument or doing martial arts or, listen to music, going out to an amusement park, I was always trying to do anything and everything, and I had a lot of input, from friends and people that I knew that also, basically, you just become friends with different people over the years that do these things or might be good at this or that. That's how I learned backpacking. I just ended up, being friends with people, knowing people that backpackers, stuff like that. It's just something that you do, And so, just all this stuff that I've done in my lifetime. And so, I just have a lot of things to say, a lot of input, a lot of things I can do and offer, as far as content is concerned. And, having the instructor mindset where I ran a martial arts school for, quite some time. And I taught for a lot longer than I ran a school. So I just have the mindset to want to instruct or help or, give answers to things that are, maybe commonly misrepresented or misunderstood. Things like that. And so this is where a lot of my voice comes from, is seeing a need for something. Even if it might seem like there's an oversaturation of this or that or something like that, maybe I see a need for a little bit of a clarity, a little bit of clarity or something like that, where I guess most people are getting it, but maybe there's a small detail that actually ends up making a big difference in the long run or something like that, and so that's where I come in, and that's where I think other content creators can come into. That's the point, is that you might have some sort of insight to that because you've done this or that, if that makes sense. Not to sound like a Dr. Seuss book or anything, but you get what I'm saying. And it's just like that, where that analogy just pops into my head, where I could say, flat out, I just created a rhyme out of nowhere instinctually in my words of describing, and again, no script here. I'm driving, man. So the point is, I have definitely gathered a lot of information, and I'd like to share it. And there's a lot of times where with martial arts, I'm sort of not able to share as much as I'd like, because there are people that would do things with it that you wouldn't necessarily want everybody, like you wouldn't just want it out there, if that makes sense. So that's why a lot of times I don't just, like I'm not going to just put an entire forum on the internet. It's really bad. You shouldn't do that. Like, people are just going to steal the style, sell it, and it's going to be half-assed. You know what I mean? But with other things, who cares? Like with like music, it's like stuff like that. That's a little bit different. That like it's not gonna like. You get what I'm saying? Like, music doesn't. It's not something that you use to defend yourself, or that somebody is gonna accidentally use incorrectly, or something. You get what I'm saying? Like who cares? You play music wrong, somebody's just gonna laugh at you, or so. Like, you're just not gonna sound as good as like Zach Wilde, who's like absolutely perfect at everything. Like you know what I mean? Like, you're just. It's gonna be that. It's not. It's just. It's not gonna be this bad thing that happens. So the point is that with martial arts, the point is you never know who's out there, who sees something that they're using it for things they shouldn't be. And then again, I've seen the martial arts schools that, not to be rude to anybody, but I mean, honestly, you should be rude to a school that's sitting there and might have an instructor that didn't actually get to, like what they were supposed to get to, and stuff like that, and might be showing incorrect things, and might not actually have all the knowledge and stuff like that. And it's like, man, let me tell you what, there's definitely a time in my training where even I went to my instructor and I said, look, I'm a little bit, I got cold feet, I'm a little bit scared to lead classes and stuff like I didn't feel confident in my abilities, and knew that I needed to take it to the next level and have a discussion even with my instructor, even after the point of like Black Sash and stuff like that, and that happened. Like, the point is, I recognized that in myself and made that call, and I, like, the point is, I pushed myself. I knew that I wasn't, like, I was, like the whole point is, everybody's going to have their weakness. Everybody, you know what I mean? Like even if we want to go down a martial arts route, like, you can relate this to anything, but everybody's going to have their weakness. Like, with guitar, drums, bass, keyboard, singing. Or you could relate this to martial arts. Everybody's going to have their weakness in martial arts. The question is how you use it. So, for example, if you're like somebody that's like a smoker, are you going to sit here and try to sing the high notes and really project your voice? Do you think that's going to work for you? Or do you think you're probably going to sound more like, like a Neil Diamond or something like that, or... You know what I mean? Like where you can get to that, but you got to do it in your own way, and you got to do it in a lower key. You got to sing in lower keys in a baritone key, otherwise you're not going to get the air. It's not going to happen. You just can't close your throat anymore. Close your throat, it just goes, Or then you could use it for some growling stuff or something like that. Use it in that manner. So then maybe you get like a Judas Priest or like the point is that you use your weakness as your strength. So the same goes for martial arts. So like you're not this, like, everybody thinks that like huge dudes like, yeah, like they're hard to beat, right? And yeah, that's some skill that you got to learn. But the point is, they have a weakness too that they need to use to their advantage too. And most of them don't even know what it is. That's the point, is that they're so hard to take down because they can take a hit. They don't understand even know what their own weakness is. A lot of times it's their flexibility. Like nine times out of 10, the big guy's going to underestimate how quickly his face is going to hit the pavement. So like, I'm just going to say that to a lot of guys that are really rigid with your knees and stuff when you stand, and your ankles and stuff. That stuff shouldn't be happening. You know, you've got to do those stretches. You got to be flexible on your feet. You're going to find a new strength you never knew. You're going to realize a lot of your strength actually came from your foundation and not your shoulders. You're bulking your shoulders up. Meanwhile, you're going to get knocked over like it's nothing. So the point is, use your weakness. So like, if you're a small guy, you're a tall guy, a lanky guy, you're a small guy and lanky. Like, there's some things that you can use to your advantage and some strategies that you can use. I'm not going to sit here and tell you every single one. You've got to figure that out for yourself based on you. But yeah, like, the point is, that's where the different styles come in. That's where, like, your animal styles come in, your long fist styles, your kung fu in general, but like, just all that stuff that where, like, you know that there is a concept that you can use to help, you know, what you're trying to do with that. Oh, we got some pretty bad flooding here. Wow. Anyway, so the point is that, you know, you want to absolutely use that weakness to your advantage. You know, that's a strategy. That's a life strategy, man. I remember I'll never forget the time when I started learning about, you know, like, momentum and weight distribution and stuff like that in an actual sparring situation. I started learning a lot about that simply by being so in tune with, you know, everything I was doing, the sparring, the techniques, you know, my flexibility, my speed, my technique was all there, and I was finally in tune with it, and then I finally started understanding, no. When somebody really fast wants to hit you, they're going to hit you, and you're not going to see it. It's not that. That will never not happen. I started learning that the trick is, you have to understand how to adjust and shift and feel that strike, because you won't react. You need your body to understand how to react for you. And I started realizing how to train that, where, like, you'd feel the strike hit you, and you'd have to, like, shift or roll. And I remember when that muscle memory started really, really working and kicking in, I started absolutely loving martial arts a lot more. And it, you know, it's the sort of thing that it feels really hard to do for a really long time. It's just like playing guitar. It's just like when you learn how to sing and you suck, and you don't really, what you're doing is you're singing like everybody else, and you never developed to learn a style of your own, and you never figured out how to sing for yourself. And so like there's all these things that you do as you're trying to, like, learn these skills and stuff, and then all of a sudden one day It just happens. You know, like one day you get out there and you pick up that mic and, you know, you sing something and it no longer sounds like the vocalist that you've been, you know, trying to sound like all these years. One day you just get it. It just, their style blends with yours. Like, the reason that spoke to you is because you knew you kind of sounded like that. You know what I mean? Like, you liked that style. You know, like that sort of thing. Like, you always, and then just, like, naturally it happens one day. You know, just like all the other inspiration that we get from music. You know, just like you're sitting there playing a you know, on guitar or something like that, and you're messing around playing a song, and you're like, you know, like, well, that sounds really cool. Like, I like these chords, and then, like, you know, you get inspired by, you know, the original music, you know, that you heard growing up and stuff like that, just by, like, learning to do it and learning to play it and stuff like that. So, yeah. Man, we are having a lot of people, like, suddenly stop. I think there's, like, flooding ahead. Yeah, that was like, I had to, like, stop all of a sudden. That was, like, really... Oh, we're all right. We're good. But you heard the radar detector. It was like all of a sudden they were just stopping real fast. I think, let me just take a look here. I think it's just a little bit of congestion, because it sometimes can flood a little bit further up here, and that could be why. But, like, basically what we're looking at is the entire line of cars from the traffic light is backed up, like, I'd say about a quarter mile. So, like, I think maybe some people just didn't know, and I can't see, like, where I am, I actually can't see too far in front of me. So it was just like, all of a sudden, cars were stopped. Luckily, even though there's water in the road, you know, we were able to stop. That's a good sign. It's a good sign. Yeah, I'm gonna hang back a little bit now, since these guys don't know how to. I'm just gonna hang back a little bit, since these guys don't know how to let me know when to stop. So anyway, yeah, like, you guys get what I'm saying. One day you're just gonna figure that shit out, and it's just gonna suddenly make all this sense to you. But, like, and that's when the magic happens. That's when you can start, you know, like, that's when you start learning how to write music. That's when you start, like the whole point is, like, you might have ideas for songs, and you might have some cool ideas, but you're not really writing and coming up with stuff. Let's be honest, like, until you know the ins and outs, and like you're not really, like, you know what I mean? Like, you're not really writing anything with, you know, like, that's the point. That's why, like, a lot of real professionals, they can just sit there and they're like powerhouses, man. They just pump out these songs, and you're like, how do they do it? Well, that's how, man. They're pros. They know what they're doing. But the point is, you know, they practiced. They really, 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 really practiced really hard. And that's the point. If you don't do that, if you don't take the time to do that, then your writing process and your creative process just goes out the window, because, you know, maybe you're forcing something doesn't really sound very good, you know? You know what I mean? And sometimes people are naturals, though, too. Like, I'm not talking about naturals, man. Some of these guys, like Zach, like, there's no question. Like people like him, you know, like, I mean, obviously you have prodigies, you have people that are just complete naturals at what they do. Like, they started young, and that's not to say that he didn't practice. Trust me, that guy he put in so much freaking practice, but like he was always doing it from a young age, you know, like so yeah, like I do believe him to be absolutely gifted and talented in those aspects, and he was born to do it. But also, yes, I still also believe he still had to put that work in. Otherwise, yeah, it still wouldn't have, you know what I mean? Like, it's like he still has to do it. You can't just not. These people aren't just born with the ability to shred. Like, you know, like, it's not gonna happen, man. I remember some of the beginnings of when I was sparring, and, well, not the beginnings of when I was sparring, but the beginnings of when I was sparring, and, like, some of the more skilled people that I was sparring with were finally starting to tell me, you know, you're really fast. Like, they were like starting to say things like that, like you know, like you're really, really fast. like things like that, like, and like things like maybe you were always pushing yourself and you didn't expect that. You just were there paying attention, trying to learn, doing your best, recognized they were better, you know, so always we're trying to like learn and stuff like that. And then just one day they're just giving you this you know, you're really fast, you know, like, and stuff like that, and you're just like, oh, well, that helps, thanks. You know, like little things like that helps. You know, like along the way, to tell people that, like, it helps to know what they're good at along the way. Like, if somebody's really fast, tell them. I actually didn't know as a drummer, I was always a really fast drummer. I'm always really fast at things in general. I didn't know this for a long time until I got older, and then I started drumming again. And then I went back and watched that old clip of me drumming, you know, the one I uploaded to you guys. No lie, like, I watched the clip and I was like, yeah, like, I was really fast. Like, why didn't I think? And I was so overly critical of myself at the time. I flat out was. I was overly critical. I did not think I was very good. And that just pushed me to be better. And I was actually pretty freaking good. Like, I watched that video back and I was like, I would have given me a job. Like, that's good enough. Like, you can do that. Fine. As long as you do that every time, you don't need double pedal. That's fine. You pass. You're fine. And I didn't realize that. I never realized that until, like I said, I got older, and then I watched it back and I was like, you know, I was way too hard on myself. So it was raining so much I had to get an actual hoodie before I left. But now it's not even raining. I'm wondering if I should just take this off. Yeah, I'll keep on. Keep it on for now. Okay. Interesting stuff. Very, very interesting. Sorry, they got music in here. Give me a sec. Waiting for food. Okay. My fault. I did not realize they were gonna have music like loud. That's okay though. It's nice. Yeah, Aerosmith playing. Boo-doo-doo. Boo-doo-doo. Roxanne. So much salt. Sorry. No ketchup this time, just cheese, burger cheese. Trying to. We used to do that. I was doing that for a long time. That's how I was getting healthy again. Remember when I gained all that weight? That's not really thought I looked the healthiest. But that's a lot of what I did was I just wasn't eating like sauce and stuff like that. I was eating like proteins, like just shitloads of proteins and fat. I was eating beef pot roast and iced coffee. I was drinking shitloads of iced coffee and eating beef pot roast, and it was like fatty beef pot roast. That's a lot of that was. But you don't feel good when you look like that. You feel bloated. Like, go sit in a chair. Like, everybody thinks they want to look like that because it looks good. But you sit in a chair and it's like uncomfortable. Your back gets all out of whack. Just because you're gut. No, I mean, it's gases and stuff.
lose more fat in your body. If you did it with muscle mass, it's a little different, but that's obviously not what that was. I mean, yeah, to a point. I mean, my whole face was fatter. Yeah, so the whole time I did martial arts, I wasn't even that big. I was smaller, quick. More weight is more weight you have to move around. You know what I'm saying? Makes stances harder to do. Like, you gotta be in the lowest stance and instantly be up at their head, you know. I mean, you gotta be able to do that, so. It's a good burger, man. Too much salt, but whatever. Just eat it. On the fries. Not the burger. Burger's good. I think Five Guys does mash burgers. You know, mash burgers? No, they are. So it is actually a real flat grill. It's a real grill. There's no like, it's not like a clam or anything like that. They actually mash them. It's like special. So, I know there are fast food place that uses a flat grill that does not mash them. Wendy's uses a real grill. They don't mash them, and it is a real grill. Unless they changed it. A lot of fast food places, you know, it'll be a very specific sort of timed sort of thing. But yeah, some of them really do actually grill them for real. But the problem is, as you guys see, when I do it, if you grill them for real, a lot of times it takes too long because it's fast food. So you have to do the mash burger. That's why it's called that. You have to squish it down. So if you didn't want to do that, you could cook it faster. The problem is then the outside gets charred. So there's, you get what I'm saying? So there is a way to do it very, very carefully, but again, that's why I like Wendy's. Anything against this place though is good. They're so good. But that's actually like a lot of the reason. And like I said, there's other places that make their burgers like that too. I still have my voltage from the new cans are cool. finish this. But the new cans are cool. But yeah, Five Guys is good, and then they'll give you like this whole, they'll give you like a whole cup of fries. And a lot of times, yeah, I was gonna say a lot of times, there's just a ton of, yeah, I mean, so like a lot of times they just put them in the bag because it's overflowing anyway. And you get tons of fries. They make these. They make these. Did you know that? Like all the food that you get from Five Guys, they make this. Like it's not a frozen bag of fries. They make the fries. That's why they're so good. Now, there is a procedure. I have a little tip for them if they would like them to be absolutely perfected. I have a tip for them, but they're pretty dang good. No. Stop with that. No, I'm not. That place needs to... Ooh. That was a truck. It was a pickup truck that made that sound. My teeth aren't very good at chewing anymore. So, I almost went to see The Offspring today, but I didn't. I couldn't. I just couldn't. I can't do anything. Can't do that. Can't do anything right now. It's a shame too, because they were there with Jimmy. They're there with Jimmy Eat World. They're there with Newfound Glory. Love Jimmy Eat World. Freaking love Jimmy Eat World. Before this world starts up again, it's me and I who wait for the sun. The kids and drunks head back inside. And while there's lots of smart ideas in books I've never read, and when the girls come talk to me, I wish to hell I had. Get up, to my mission. Get up, fire up the system. I play my little part in something big. I'll accept this voice with grace when they draw my name from the lottery. And they'll say all the salt in the world couldn't help that ice. Fucking love that song. I'm the one who gets away. I'm a New Jersey success story. And that's exactly where they're playing. Lord, give me the chance to shave. They'll say, back when I was young, I was someone you'd have liked. I don't get tired of always what you like. And I'll tell you something else. Still get up, dance on the sea. And then there's always the Amazing Offspring, obviously. I love them. That is awesome. I just saw a freaking yellow Volkswagen Beetle. Totally pulled my attention on. The future was so bright. Whoa, you only know the sunlight. Whoa, every kid on the damn street. I wonder if I can upload that yet. Maybe I should give it a shot. The video I made to that. I kept trying to upload over the years. Remember I said I made a really long time ago. I made an anime music video to that one, and I kept trying to upload it to YouTube, even though there's all these other ones uploaded that other people did, and I kept just throwing a copyright or something on it and rejecting it or something like that. And but I think the copyrights are actually have been sold since then, and yeah. So I might have changed some things a little bit. And the movie is now on YouTube that I used. It was maybe I won't spoil it. Let's see if it works. I'll give it a shot. But it won an award. It like back when they used to give out like those website awards and stuff, then they would vote for people that were really good at those videos and stuff. It got one of those things. One time. The one time I did that. Because a lot of the ones I did was just for fun, but that one, because I did some Dragon Ball, I did some Dragon Ball Z ones, and I did a few to Transformers, and I did some to my favorite movie, Equilibrium. I used like Seven Dust and stuff, and a couple of other stuff, but worked really well. But no, man, that was everybody always complimented that one. Like, man, it's a shame you can't put that on. Like, everybody always like, it's a shame you can't put that on YouTube. I was like, I know. I know it's a shame I can't put that on YouTube. Because everybody's always like, I really want to just watch it. Like, there's been several people who are like, I really wish I could just watch that again. Like, I know. I just want to put it on YouTube so you can go ahead and watch it anytime you want. It's like, come on, man. That was good. It's all good. It's all so good. It was really good. But anyway, I was talking about The Offspring. Man, I love them. Americana's my favorite album. Americana's probably still my favorite album. It's probably still going to be my favorite album. Yeah, look at this. Normally I'd have sunglasses, right? I would normally, but it was like raining buckets. I didn't expect this. Yeah, I normally I love Americana. I normally listen to the set songs that I listen to from, like, I have my favorite songs, obviously. But I like it all. I really do. They're one of those bands where I could just listen to them. Ixnay and the Ombre was great. That was a great album too. Gone Away. I think Gone Away was on that one, right? I liked that even way back. Like, that was always, I was like, this is so underplayed. And then finally, Five Finger Death Punch covered it. And everybody knows about it, right? Great song. I mean, people knew about it when it first came out, but I think it was just quickly, like, forgotten about. I really do. I really feel that way. I feel like it was quickly forgotten about, and what a shame, because phenomenal, epic song. So I'm glad to see them. I think they're performing that live too, in the current set list. I think, not to spoil anything, but I think they are. So, and I think it's a different than normal version. Yeah. So, cheers to those that went. I'm not too jelly. It's okay. Maybe I'll have fun. But New Found Glory is cool too. Man, that'd have been cool too. But yeah, I love Jimmy Eat World. I love The Offspring, like both of those bands. Get It Faster was always fun. I like a praise chorus. I love all of Bleed American. Even Bleed America. I think praise chorus, that starts off. Are you gonna live your life wandering, standing in the back, looking around? I think that's how it starts. Are you gonna live your life thinking, are you missed out? Yeah, get it faster. I don't care what you do. Obviously Big Casino. Obviously I was singing Big Casino. That's one of my favorites. The middle. Hey, don't write yourself off yet. It's only in your head you feel left out. I look down on. Just try your best. Try everything you can. And then there's always the sweetness. The sweetness was really good too. That whole, freaking Bleed American was amazing. But yeah, the sweetness was great. The sweetness was, if you listen in, whoa, sing it back, whoa. Straight from something, I forget the lyrics. Whoa, whoa, what words fits the meaning? I think that's where that lyric is. Whoa, I'd have to look at it again. Whoa, I'm spinning free. Whoa, I played a lot of drums to Jimmy World. A lot. That was a lot of the stuff I played. I played, like I said, Praise Chorus. Bleed America, that's a tough one. That was where I got my. That was how I was able to practice. Like, it was just like all throughout. Full energy on that one. But yeah, like all their stuff is a lot like that. And it has a strong drummer behind it. People underestimate that guy. He's a good drummer. Same thing with Offspring though, New Found Glory. Like, a lot of what those guys can do is because they have a high energy drummer. That's what people don't realize and underestimate a little bit. Is to keep the tempo the way that they do. That's some tough stuff to do, man. Even just to play it that, you gotta just be able to relax and do it. You can't just, you can't. Yeah, there's no other way to do it. You gotta be able to be relaxed when you do that. It's gotta be like. It shouldn't even. You shouldn't be trying to but you could, if you're a showman, you want to still be able to do that. But it's like, and obviously on the steering wheel it doesn't translate. It just sounds different on the steering wheel. It ends up sounding incorrect on the steering wheel because it's not a drum set. That's why, because I'll go to do my normal drumstick thing, and I realize I'm on a steering wheel, and I'm like, oh yeah, it doesn't translate. I have to. And so it just ends up. You have to remember to. Well, that's how I'm doing it, by the way. I'm just. It's just this. That's how I'm doing it. Just saying. case you're curious. It's just that. And then a lot of times, you can make it sound like you're hitting a different drum by just tapping harder, so it's... That's how you use like bongos and stuff. You start with a certain control, and then you tap harder to make it sound like a different rhythm. So. See what I mean? And on a lot of this, is my fingers. It's just that. You know who has a good drummer? Well, they're all drummers, I think. I think they all, like, play a little bit of percussion, right? OK Go. OK Go's a great group. I like the song Just Get Over It. But that's the remember the treadmill video? That's them. Remember the treadmill video? The viral treadmill video that a band had? That's just them. Alright guys, well I'll probably just go ahead and end this here. I just decided to take you guys with me and have a little chat with you, give you guys a little entertainment for the day while I took a drive. But I gotta be about my business, get some things done, and you might see me a little bit later. I might have something for you a little bit later, but we'll see. I'm not gonna promise anything. Let's see how it goes. I appreciate the support. Thank you. And you know, just remember, just summing up everything we said. Just hang in there. You know, you're worried that you're not very good at whatever you're practicing or martial arts, or you're discouraged from it. Talk to your instructor, talk to your teacher, whoever you learn from, and let them know you feel that way, and let them know why. And if you can figure out why, let them know why. And if they seem like they fight you on this, they seem like they don't want to help you, or like you get like a negative feedback from them, like it doesn't feel reinforced and positive, like it helped you. I think you need to seek a different instructor or a different trainer or something. But unless you know, like, that's the point. You just want to make sure that person is teaching you right and helping you learn something right. Because there's a lot of people out there that, you know, I bet they think they're doing it okay, and they think they're probably doing it all right to a degree, but maybe they just got a lot going on. They're trying to make some extra money on the side, and they're really not putting the effort in, and they don't even necessarily know that or realize that at the time. They just have so much going on. Or you never know every situation, so you just want to communicate. And again, if that communication feels unsupportive, lacking, yeah, for sure, just go somewhere else, or maybe go solo. Maybe at that point you know enough that you want to grab some YouTube videos and self-taught yourself for whatever you're doing for a while, until you find somebody that can teach you more than you know, or something like that. These things happen. So just throwing that out there for you guys, as a little, advice for really anything in life. That's what most educated people do. A lot of times, if they're unhappy with, they feel like they're not learning fast enough or whatever, it's the sort of thing where they realize it too, and they seek different guidance. And again, just quickly, I won't take a lot of your time, but this is what happened to me with Tang Soo Do when I was younger. I just realized that it didn't offer everything I wanted to learn about martial arts. It was very easy to do. I was being held back. Just a lot about it was very obvious. There wasn't enough knowledge there to give me the answers I wanted. So I needed to get a better instructor, and I needed to learn Kung Fu, because I knew Kung Fu actually had the answers that I sought in martial arts versus the style that I was learning at the time. Like I said, maybe Tang Soo Do is fine for you for sport martial art or whatever it is you're doing for your word breaking or you're showing off and yelling Kia or whatever it is that you want to do or whatever, but that wasn't me. I wanted to use it for practical self-defense use and just to learn the art, and trust me, that was not Tang Soo Do, and I will stand by that with my own knowledge and tell you any day that that's the case. That's not what that is for. It's a sport martial art. But that's a professional telling you that. That's a professional telling you that. Just like you wouldn't use, unless you're Zach Wilde, like I learned all that information after the fact. Listen to what I was gonna say. This is gonna be funny. I learned all this information after the fact. You know what I mean? Now I can go back and extrapolate and use just Tang Soo Do stuff, but adjust it for the knowledge I have with Kung Fu so that it would actually properly work. Because it was stuff that just, again, it wasn't right. It wasn't even that it was minimal, it was incorrect at times. And now with that adjustment, yeah, I can do those minimal things, but making the correct adjustments with the knowledge base I have now, yeah, now it would work. So, whereas if you're Zach Wilde, you can do things like take an acoustic guitar and make and shred on it and make it sound like an electric guitar, and somehow that's okay because you're Zach Wilde and it just sounds amazing, and you're shredding on this acoustic, and I'm just like looking at it like, huh, it sounds really good. What the hell? Like basically just doing what you're not supposed to do, but doing it anyway. And I'm like, son of a bitch, that's awesome. That's amazing. And so like that's a perfect analogy, because he spent all those years, nobody can shred. Who can shred on acoustic? Because the point is, it's harder to play. An acoustic, the strings are tougher to strum. No, it's not easier. It's harder. It is. Electric guitar is like a finesse. It's like you be dainty about it. With acoustic, that requires finesse, and you have to have some strength to your fingers, man. Or you ain't hearing shit. And this guy's just shredding them. I'm just like, okay, you've proved it. Enough's enough. That's why, if someone like me can stand there and throw a very simple side kick at your head or roundhouse kick at your head or something like that, you don't even see it. And it's just something basic. That's the point. Get it now? I hope so. That's the analogy. And the whole point is that you can sit there and you can plan your first act drum set or your first act guitar, but nobody thinks that's permanent. Maybe didn't System of a Down use First Act? Like they use like the weird they're sort of weird. They're funny, but no, like the First Act, like everybody knows, like that's like a starter, what instrument. That's the point. It's a starter. It's like a teenager kid instrument. Like it's for people learning. Like that's the point. It's not nice wood. It's not, you know what I mean? Like it's not, doesn't have the gold trim and all. You get what I'm saying? Like it can be beat up a little bit and it doesn't sound nearly as good. But the point is, now if you would go back as a pro, like System did, right? Didn't they play First Act? That's the point. Like when Zach sat there and whipped out a Hello Kitty guitar and somehow was playing, I was like, oh, he's playing it. You know what I mean? Like the point is you'll make anything sound good. You can just play on anything, just like all these drummers that get, what's the channel, I feel bad. The one Chad Smith's always on. They bring all the drummers on to like play a song, and they've never heard the song, but they have to come up with a drum track. And like Chad Smith, nobody denies he's pretty much the best at it, right? Like he'll just sit there and lay down a drum track that sounds somehow exactly like the style of that song. And he's never heard the song. It's like, okay. So that's the point. How well can you use all that knowledge that you learned, and how well did you adapt to everything, and did you resist that knowledge, or did you learn it, held on to it, and you know what I mean? So that's what I'll leave you with. Thank you again all for your support. I really appreciate it, and I hope that's a nice motivator for you guys to, again, keep trucking ahead with whatever it is that you're learning, you're practicing. Whether it's music, martial arts, whatever, keep doing it. Don't. You got a gift, you got a skill. Don't stop. The moment you stop, it's gone. Don't stop, man. Thanks for watching.